Why do bikers wear rings? Ask 10 riders, you'll get 10 answers. Knuckle protection, club code, pure style. Most of those answers are wrong, and the real one starts with a $5 coin. This is the story of how melted money became a code, and the unwritten rules that still come with it. By the end, you'll know what the symbols actually signal, why the metal matters more than the design, and the sizing mistake almost everyone makes. Let's start at the border. The 1940s, Juarez and Tijuana. American soldiers passing through on leave found border town silversmiths doing something remarkable. They'd take old Mexican peso coins, 72% silver, melt them down, and hammer the metal into rings. Skulls, eagles, crosses. $5, cast from actual currency. The imagery wasn't random. Those silversmiths were drawing on Aztec death iconography and Catholic symbolism, currents Mexican artisans had worked with for centuries. After the war, veterans carried the rings home, and the skull meant something specific to men who had survived combat. Memento mori. Remember you die, so live. Then came 1947, the Hollister rally that Life magazine turned into a national scandal. A year later, the Hells Angels. The rings came along for the ride. Heavy silver on a scarred hand became a visual code. This man has been somewhere. 80 years later, the ring on a rider's hand is mostly unchanged. What changed is everyone else wanting one. Here's the first unwritten rule. Silver, not gold. In motorcycle culture, gold reads as flash, something a banker wears. Silver reads as work. Because silver does something gold never will. It ages. Road grime, hand oil, and weather blacken the recesses and polish the high points. A mirror-bright ring says, just bought it. Deep oxidation in a skull's eye sockets says, been riding with this for years. The tarnish is the resume. Sterling silver, 925, is the traditional pick. Heavy, resizable by any jeweler, and it builds that patina. Stainless steel stays forever new and can't be resized. Brass goes warm and vintage but can green your skin. Every metal's a statement. Silver just happens to be the traditional one. Now the symbols, because they are not all equal. The skull is the default, and the safest. It carries no club affiliation and no politics. Anyone can wear one. That's precisely its point. It's the same memento mori those veterans brought home. Not a death wish, an instruction. Life is short. Ride now. Celtic knots, Norse runes, Odin's ravens. Heritage pieces. They signal roots and belief, not membership. Religious symbols run deep in this culture too. Crosses and guardian icons carried for protection on the road. We've covered that whole world in its own guide. And then there's the category that isn't casual. Club symbols. A patched club's insignia, on a jacket or a ring, is understood to be earned, not bought. Riders treat those symbols as off-limits, unless they're yours. That's the etiquette that actually matters. Which brings us to the rules nobody writes down. 1. When in doubt, wear the skull. 2. 1 heavy ring beats 5 light ones. This is a culture of weight, not sparkle. 3. Don't polish away the patina. You're erasing the only part that proves the miles.
Keith Richards has worn the same skull ring since the 70s. Alexander McQueen put biker skulls on the runway and got sued by the Hells Angels over their winged emblem. They settled.
The ring never changed. The world around it did. Last, the practical part everyone gets wrong. Sizing. Wide bands wear tighter than thin ones. The same finger can need half a size more. And on the road, your fingers change size with the weather. Heat swells them, cold shrinks them. That's why resizable silver beats sealed steel for daily riders. Gloves matter too. A tall skull under a gauntlet cuff is a lesson you only need once. So, why do bikers wear rings? Because a ring is the only jewelry that faces outward when your hands are on the bars. It is an armor, and it was never just fashion. The ring doesn't make you a rider. The road does that. The ring just keeps the record. The full guide, medals, sizing charts, symbol meanings, is on our blog, linked below. Ride safe.